Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're staging the ultimate showdown between the two giants that power pretty much all of modern AI. We're talking TensorFlow versus PyTorch. So, have you ever stopped to wonder who actually builds the AI you interact with every single day? You know, every time you get a recommendation, talk to a voice assistant, or see one of those incredible AI-generated images, there's a powerful framework under the hood doing all the heavy lifting. Today, we're going to find out which one really reigns supreme. All right, let's meet our contenders. In this corner, hailing from Google, we have TensorFlow, the undisputed production powerhouse. And in the other corner, developed by Meta, it's the reigning research champion, PyTorch. Two absolute titans, but with, as you'll see, very different fighting styles. So here's the plan for our showdown. We'll break down their core differences. We'll see where each one really dominates. Then we'll check the final scorecard, and most importantly, we'll help you figure out which one of these champions you should be betting on. Okay, let's get right into it. To really understand this rivalry, you have to get what makes them tick, what's fundamentally different about their approach. And it all boils down to their core philosophy on how you should actually build an AI model. TensorFlow, well, it thinks like an architect. It demands a full, detailed blueprint of your AI model before anything really runs. Now, that might sound a little stiff, a little rigid, right? But there's a huge payoff. It's fantastic for optimization. Because TensorFlow can see the entire plan from the get-go, it can make everything super, super efficient, perfect for when you need to deploy something massive in the real world. PyTorch, on the other hand, is more like a sculptor. It doesn't need that full blueprint up front. Instead, it lets you build and change your model as you go, piece by piece, right on the fly. This whole dynamic way of working feels way more intuitive, way more flexible, and that's exactly why the research community fell in love with it. It's built for speed, for experimenting, for tweaking your ideas as you go. All right, round one, let's see how these different philosophies actually play out. We're going to start with the seasoned champ, TensorFlow, and see where its blueprint approach lands the heaviest blows, and that's in the world of large-scale production. And when I say large-scale, I mean massive, global systems, the kind of AI that has to serve millions, sometimes billions of people every single day and just not break a sweat. Yeah, this is absolutely TensorFlow's home court. Just think about it for a second. That algorithm that ranks your Google search results, that's TensorFlow. The magic system on YouTube that knows exactly which video you want to watch next, TensorFlow. The engine that curates your perfect Spotify playlist, you got it. These aren't just apps, these are industrial-strength AI powerhouses. So why does it dominate here? Well, it goes right back to that rigid blueprint we talked about. It allows for some seriously extreme optimization. And when you pair that with Google's world-class infrastructure for actually serving those models to users, you get an unbeatable combination for reliability at a scale that's hard to even imagine. And you know, that obsession with efficiency pays off in another huge area too. We're talking about running AI not just on some massive server in the cloud, but right on the device in your hand, or on a tiny little sensor out in the world. This is the world of TensorFlow Lite. You know all that smart processing happening inside your Android phone's camera? Or the speech recognition that works even when you don't have a signal? That's it. And it's also a huge deal in really critical fields, like in portable healthcare devices or industrial sensors that have to make smart decisions in a split second. The secret sauce here is, again, efficiency. TensorFlow Lite is a master at taking these giant AI models and shrinking them down into tiny, speedy versions that can run on low-power hardware. And because it's built to work on pretty much any device you can think of, it's become the undisputed champion of AI on the edge. But that is only half the fight. Ding ding, round two. Let's turn our attention to the challenger. Let's see how PyTorch, our flexible sculptor, counters with its absolute dominance in the super fast-paced, always changing world of AI research. It's like this. If TensorFlow owns the factory floor, then PyTorch owns the R&D lab. This is the birthplace of the next generation of AI, especially the large language models, the LLMs, that have completely taken the world by storm. I mean, just look at the roster of who's using PyTorch. OpenAI's GPT models, built on PyTorch. Meta's LLaMA, PyTorch. The incredible image generator Stable Diffusion, yep. And the whole HuggingFace ecosystem, which is basically the central hub for all these models, it's all in on PyTorch. These are the heavyweights of modern AI. So what's the deal? Why is it the language of innovation? It all circles back to that flexible, dynamic nature. It lets researchers just try stuff. They can quickly test new ideas, debug complex models, and just iterate, iterate, iterate. And that speed, that ability to move fast, is the critical ingredient that leads to those huge breakthroughs. And that same flexibility is a massive deal in another really cool field: computer vision and robotics. Teaching machines how to actually see, understand, and interact with the physical world. Think about it. The perception systems in a self-driving car that have to identify objects in milliseconds, the super precise robots on a factory line, even the AI that helps doctors analyze medical scans. These are all incredibly complex, dynamic tasks that really benefit from a framework as adaptable as PyTorch. All right, the final bell has rung. We've seen both contenders in action. We've seen their strengths. Now it's time to go to the judges' scorecard and get the final verdict on who wins and where. And looking at the scorecard, it's a classic split decision. For anything related to research, prototyping, and building the latest large language models, PyTorch takes the belt hands down. It's just more intuitive. But, and this is a big but, when it's time to actually deploy at scale on mobile devices or in big enterprise systems, TensorFlow's mature, super optimized ecosystem is the clear winner. So what does this all mean? Well, it's pretty clear this isn't about one framework being better than the other. Not at all. It's about picking the right tool for the right job, choosing the right champion for your specific project. You should bet on TensorFlow if your main goal is deployment. If you're building a real product that needs to be reliable, scalable, and run across all sorts of platforms, web, mobile, IoT devices, then TensorFlow's production-ready tools are built for you. But you should go with PyTorch if you're working on the cutting edge. If you're in a research lab, a fast-moving startup, or your whole project is about building the next great language or vision model, you're going to want the speed and flexibility that PyTorch provides for rapid innovation. And really, that's the perfect way to sum it all up. There's no single winner here because they're not truly fighting for the same title. PyTorch is the engine of AI research. TensorFlow is the backbone of AI production. Together, they have this incredible symbiotic relationship that powers nearly every major AI application on the world. So the real question isn't who won, it's which one will you use to build the future?